Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again. It's been a little while. It's been a couple months, I suppose, since the last review I've done. I thought I'd do something a little modern today. The last few vintage reviews I've done have not gone very well. They've been of pretty bad quality. So I thought I'd try something that should hopefully be a sure thing. So what we have here in front of us today is a particularly rare, sometimes you hate throwing that word around, but this is a particularly rare ration. This is a Estonian individual combat ration for the Estonian Defense Force, but it's the lightweight version, and I'll just show you. This is the standard Estonian ration, and it's 1,300 grams, and the lightweight version is 782, so we're talking not quite half the weight, 45%, something like that. So both bags are pretty much exactly the same size, but this one, the regular one, has a great deal of canned items and things like that, so it's got quite a bit of heft to it. This one, I assume being a lightweight ration, will be something like, say, a 24-hour LRP kind of idea. Will be mostly freeze-dried items, but I guess we'll see once we finally open it up and have a look. So what we have is a menu number 12, and they have it written in pen. I guess the date this was actually packed, and the expiry date is May 2020. So we're getting somewhat close to that. But you have your ingredients list here. It's in both Estonian and English, which is good because I do not read Estonian or speak it or anything like that. So it's really not a whole lot else to say, just to tear into this and see what kind of items we got. So our first item we have is just a travel lunch item. It's a beef and potato hot pot, so mostly, I guess, freeze-dried potatoes, some beef, and then it says vegetables in varying proportions, carrots, tomatoes, leeks, peas, onions, things like that. So that's probably going to be pretty good. Got another travel lunch item. This one's the breakfast portion. So this is a fruit muesli, so it's oat flakes and spelt, and some dried fruit like bananas, pineapples, apricots, strawberries, things like that. Sounds pretty good as well. And next we have what's called tactical food pack, freeze-dried meal, high energy. So it's a spaghetti bolognese and beef. And I don't really know exactly where it's from. I mean, obviously there's a Estonian address here. Now, I don't know if tactical food pack is actually a Estonian item or not. But to me, it seemed like this is probably something that could be American, but I actually have no idea. I've never actually seen one of these before. I've seen people have them sort of, online here and there, but I've never actually physically had one myself. But we'll get a look at it. Got a pack of Trek and Eat biscuits, cookies, whatever you want to call them. Got an Orifo cookies and cream cereal bar. Those are usually really good. And next we have something that's fairly ubiquitous to Estonian rations. We actually have a halwa bar, and this one's caramel flavor. And normally halwa is supposed to be a sesame seed paste. This one they make it out of a base of peanuts. And I've had one of these before, and it was fantastic. So we'll see if that sort of happens again. Next we have, it says whey and soya, I guess, 50-50. So I'm going to assume this is some sort of protein drink, but since there's no English on this, I guess we'll find out. Then we have a packet of what's called, let's see if that'll focus, energy gel lemon. You see the ingredients here. Then we have a chocolate bar, Switzerland Royal Army. This one has caffeine guarana in it, and it's dark chocolate with cornflakes and guarana. This one seems to be in pretty good shape. Doesn't feel like it's melted in any way. It's split in the middle, obviously, but these bags that these rations come in are fairly, I guess, what we'll say. Usually any Estonian ration that shows up, it's usually in pretty rough shape. Got a few sort of minor items. We got 3 alcohol prep pads. 70% isopropyl alcohol. We've got ourselves a plastic Ziploc refuse bag, I guess, if you want to call it that. We've got ourselves a multivitamin tablet, which I assume is then effervescent, so you just put it in water. We've got 2 packets of sugar. I don't really know what the weight of these are, but you know, it's easily 5 grams. Could be anywhere from 5 to 10. And lastly, we've got tea, and I have no idea what language this is written in. It looks Russian or Ukrainian, something along those lines. It's obviously written in Cyrillic, but I'm going to assume it's tea. It certainly has that tea bag kind of look and feel to it. So yeah, this might not look like a whole lot, but this is deemed to be 24 hours worth of food for a lightweight situation. So obviously this is going to be for a soldier who's on patrol, things like that, but maybe for a long distance, or maybe for a long amount of time, and you want to be able to save as much weight as you possibly can by having, you know, a smaller ration. You could easily then take 2 of these in place of 1 regular ration for this pretty much the same amount of weight. So it doesn't look like a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of extras, I guess you'll call it. And we have our 3 mains, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 drinks, I guess you'll call it, and then a few snacks. You know, we've got some crackers. Nothing to actually put on the crackers, I guess, unless you want to try the energy gel on them. Maybe we'll try that out just to see if it's some sort of semblance of jam, I suppose. And then some quick, I guess, sugar-related energy when it comes to our Halwa bar and our chocolate bar and our cereal bar, things like that. So yeah, we'll try to break this down, I guess, meal by meal. Each meal's not going to have that much items involved with it, but we'll try to do a breakfast, lunch, and supper kind of thing. Alright everyone, so here's what we're going to have for breakfast. As you'll notice, there's going to be a sparse amount of items on the trays. I may sort of spread this out between the 3 meals, so we'll just keep this here as a just-in-case kind of thing. So we're going to have our Halwa bar and our fruit muesli and some tea and I guess some crackers and whatnot as our breakfast portion. It's late March and we're all on I guess what we'll call our COVID or coronavirus quarantine. So everyone's in the house. My work is shut down, so finally found some time to get a review done. You may notice some background noise. It's a freezing rain, ice pellets kind of day outside. So you may hear some of that rattle off the patio door that's next to me. And of course the kids are home, so at some point you may hear some singing or shouting or playing or whatever in the background. But what I'm going to do is obviously get some hot water for the tea, get some water for the muesli, and it says that... Yeah, it says you can mix with either hot or cold water. It doesn't really matter, according to taste. Usually I like to use cold for fruit, for any sort of muesli. So, yeah, we'll get all this stuff sort of ready, and then we'll start in. All right, everyone, so here's breakfast all laid out. We've got our Halwa bar. Now, it's a little bit of an oily residue on the Halwa bar outside wrapper, and some of the other items had that little bit of oily residue as well, so maybe that sort of leaked a little tiny bit. Hopefully it hasn't done anything to the, I guess, be detrimental to the taste or quality of the other items. But we've got our tea here, and at least on the inside, you do have a brand name here. It's called Princess Nuri. I've never heard of that particular brand of tea before, but looks like a standard kind of black orange pekoe kind of tea. We got our Trek and Eat biscuits, our Halwa bar, we got our energy gel, and we got our fruitful muesli, which you'll see inside here. It's got a lot of stuff actually to it. I was quite surprised. And it seems to have reconstituted pretty well. I'll give you a look. There's a lot of sunflower seeds and pieces of dried fruit in there. So yeah, let's give this a try. I use cold water for this. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. You really get the apricot and the pineapple flavor in there. There is supposed to be freeze-dried strawberry and raspberry. Don't really pick up much strawberry, but I do get a little bit of that tartness from the raspberry. But all in all, that is a very good quality muesli, and I'm someone who enjoys that. So yeah, that's fantastic. Let's try the tea. It's not very dark. Now, I have let it steep for a few minutes, so it should be okay. That is a really nice black tea. It's not overpowering like a strong sort of like Earl Grey or English breakfast kind of thing, but it's a really solid black tea. It's not bitter. There's a little hint of something else in there that I can't quite put my finger on. It's not like it's sweet, but it's not like any other black tea I've ever had before. So it's kind of an interesting sort of item. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. Next, we'll try out our Halwa bar, and I'll show you guys as like a cross section of it. So yeah, it's basically like compacted peanut paste. It's apparently got a caramel flavor added to it. Let's give it a try. And oh yeah, that is absolutely delicious. It's that perfect peanut flavor, for those of you who like peanut flavor. And you do get a little hint of that caramel. Yeah, it is very crumbly, but if you're someone who doesn't mind some sort of textural differences, I guess, this is absolutely delicious. I wish there was a way you could find more of this around here, but I've never seen it anywhere to buy. I know it's a very popular Eastern European and Middle Eastern item with a lot of different flavors. And like I said before, it's usually made with sesame seed as the base, but using peanut as a base is, in my mind, just as good. All right, and lastly, we got our crackers to try. These are just standard Trek and Eat crackers, so they're similar to what you would find in a German Einmannpackung or an EPA. So yeah, let's give it a try on its own first, and then maybe we'll try some of the energy gel with it. They're not rancid, but they have taken on some of the peanut flavor, or the essence of peanut from, I guess, the oil seeping out through the package. But it doesn't, it's not detrimental in any way. Now let's just try out some of this energy gel. It's very runny, a bit runnier than I anticipated. It's supposed to be a lemon lime kind of flavor. Let's try it out. It kind of gets lost actually in the overriding flavor of the biscuit where the peanut essence has come in. So we'll just try it, some of it on its own. These Estonian rations don't come with their own sort of cutlery, so I'm just using the Canadian IMP new spork, which I feel is probably one of the better ration spoons out there now. So yeah, let's just try this out on its own. It's not bad. It's a little strange. It's almost medicinal in the sense that it's almost got like a cough syrup kind of consistency to it, and it's not a strong lemon. Is it just lemon? Yeah, it's just lemon. It's not a strong lemon flavor, but it is there. So, but it is very sweet. So it's interesting. It's almost like maybe you could use this as an item to put into your muesli if you wanted, or you can just, obviously where it's a little small pouch like this, I'm pretty sure the main way it's supposed to be sort of taken is, you just drink this as a moderate thirst quencher, I suppose, for some just very quick energy. But it's actually not that bad on the crackers. Just, I think if the crackers were on their own, if they hadn't taken on the sort of peanut flavor, as it were, probably would have been a very strong sort of lemon flavor to go with that, and it would have been great. Not to say it's bad, just the crackers are kind of overridden right now. So yeah, guys, that's the breakfast portion. I just wanted to say that this particular ration, the lightweight Estonian, as far as I can tell, this has never been reviewed before, so it's interesting to get this chance to let everyone have the first look at one of these lightweight rations. The Estonian rations themselves aren't easy to find, and there are a number of reviews online, but they're not the easiest rations to get a hold of. So I was able to get my hands on two of them actually. So I still have another one, a different menu, and that menu didn't actually have a set sort of breakfast item. It was kind of strange. It was, you had a choice between chicken curry or some sort of like pasta carbonara as what would be your breakfast meal. So all three of the mains were not breakfast in their orientation. So I thought it probably would be better to try one that had an actual identifiable breakfast item. So what we'll do is now, guys, we'll move on to dinner, and that's going to be our beef and the potato hot pot. But anyway, we'll trade up, and then we'll get stuff ready. All right, everyone. So here we got our dinner in front of us. Like I said before, these are going to be sort of sparse kind of meals. I guess I technically could have thrown this all together into one set, but I prefer to break things down meal by meal. So what we do have is our beef and potato hot pot. Once again, a travel lunch item. And then we've got our Swiss Royal Army chocolate bar with cornflakes and guarana. And then we still got some leftover crackers. Maybe we might go with the beef and potato hot pot. Who knows? Although they've taken on that peanut flavor. So we'll see if that that's detrimental. And then we'll try out our whey soya. What I'm going to assume is a protein drink. Doesn't even say what flavor it is. But I guess we'll get that ready. I'm going to get this ready. And then we'll come on back. All right. So here's dinner all laid out. It's our beef and potato hot pot. That's pretty much ready. We've got our chocolate bar. You'll see it has bloomed a little bit, but it's not that bad. It certainly doesn't appear to have been like overly heat stressed, as it were, like it didn't melt. You can see all these little dark flecks in it. This is supposed to have guarana extract, so that means it's going to have some caffeine in there. And the package actually says, for every 100 grams of chocolate bar, you get 94 milligrams of caffeine. So this is a 50-gram chocolate bar, so obviously it means we're going to get 47 grams of caffeine just in that chocolate. So if anyone likes that sort of Coca-Cola chocolate, this is probably going to be similar to that. We've got our protein drink mixed up. It's a few little sort of bits floating around. It's an interesting smell coming off it. I can't quite place it, so I guess we'll see what it's like. Now, our hot pot should be ready. As you can see, it is chock full of, and as we can tell, I didn't quite get one corner. There's a little bit of dry left there, but for the most part, this seems to be well constituted. It looks like a massive mash of mashed potatoes. And I guess that is the main base of it. But you can see by the color that there is a lot going on here. So we've got tomato flakes, leek, carrot, onion. There's a very strong smell of butter coming off of this. And that's actually one of the ingredients in here is like just freeze-dried butter powder. And there's a lot of whole milk powder. And garlic. There's a strong garlic flavor coming off. So some people usually give travel lunch items a bad name, say that they're bland. That would not be the case for the fruit muesli I had, and I'm going to suspect it's not going to be the case for this. So let's give it a try. Oh wow, that is delicious. There's supposed to be beef in there. You can't really tell. It's a few little sort of brown flecks you see through it, but there's so much vegetable and herb and flavoring in here that the beef really does sort of get overpowered. Not to say that's a bad thing. This is delicious. Well, I have to say, out of all the rations I've eaten over the years, especially when it comes to freeze-dried, this may be the best I've ever had. And that's, yeah, that's no lie. This is amazing. Like I said before, some people give travel lunch a bad name. They've obviously never had this. A little bit of black pepper probably would make this even better. But you can see just how much stuff is in here. Especially the green onion and the leek and the carrot. And that really comes through in a really strong way. Along with all the other sort of seasonings they use. But this is incredibly good quality. Wow, I can't say enough good things about that. That's amazing. I almost feel like I don't even need to try it with this because I know what these are going to taste like. They've got that peanut essence and that'll just ruin that. So it's not a whole lot left. We'll try our protein drink. I assume that's what it is. So yeah, let's see what this is all about. It's really good, but I honestly cannot place what the taste of that is. It doesn't help that the only ingredients on it are written in Estonian. And it doesn't really give me even an indication of what the flavor might be. It's not quite vanilla. It's not quite strawberry. It's not quite berry. It's a really odd combination of flavors, but at the same time, really, really good. I don't know if I put too much water in here. So it's not like crazy thick like, say, a dairy shake would be. You'd find like a USMRE or something like that. But I got no complaints about this whatsoever. This is probably better than the Canadian vanilla drinks. I'm not a huge fan of those, or the Canadian protein drinks, I mean. But yeah, this is fantastic, whatever it is. And for something that's obviously got a lot of protein powder in it, it doesn't have that standard protein flavor like you get a lot from protein bars, things like that. You wouldn't know the difference. So it's masked really well. So yeah, guys, not a whole lot left. We'll try our chocolate bar, I guess. Like I said, it's bloomed a little tiny bit, but it doesn't appear to be that bad. It's a very dark chocolate, and it's Swiss, so it should be pretty good quality. Wow, that is amazing. Unlike Coca-Cola, it doesn't have a really strong coffee flavor. So just a little tiny hint of it. What you're mostly getting here is just the taste of a very, very high quality dark chocolate. And you get the great texture of all these little sort of cornflake bits that are in there. This is amazing. This is probably one of the best chocolate bars you'll ever find in a ration. Yeah, once again, much like the main, can't say enough about that. That's amazing. Estonia really hit this one out of the park when it came to this whole meal. I gotta say, aside from a little bit of the peanut essence seeping out of the hollow bar and sort of, I guess, compromising the crackers to some degree, this has been an excellent ration so far. Amazingly high quality. Now, I've never actually eaten a full regular Estonian ration, so I don't know exactly what the canned versions of the meals are, but yeah, this is amazing. Like I said before, this is the best freeze-dried main I've ever had. So, not a whole lot else to say. I guess we'll move on to our supper portion, and as you'll see for that one's just as sparse as the others have been. And guys, we're finally back, and it's time for supper. So, as you can see, like the other meals, there's not a whole lot going on here. We do have our main, which is spaghetti bolognese and beef. We've got our cookies and cream cereal bar. Got a few crackers just in case, but once again, I don't know if we're going to use them or not. And we've got ourselves a multivitamin tablet, which I assume is effervescent. So, it'll be pretty easy. Once again, get some hot water into this, let it sit for a while, let it get ready, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, and now we got our supper. So we'll show what the effervescent tablet's like. I don't know what the flavor of it's going to be. So we'll just let that sit there and do its thing for a minute. We've got our cookies and cream cereal bar. As you can tell, as normal, that thing looks just like black as tar, but may not look like the most appetizing thing in the world, but they are usually very, very good. Yeah, so let's open up our tactical food pack, see how this is reconstituted. So there we have it. Let's dump that out. So yeah, it's exactly as it's described. It's a sort of spaghetti and meat sauce kind of idea, very similar to, in look, to the American MCW or LRP spaghetti and meat sauce. And you do get actually fairly sizable chunks of ground beef in here, so it doesn't look too bad. Smells pretty good. It's a little bit of a different smell coming off it. I don't know if it's just the type of tomatoes they use or the particular oil that's used in this, but looks pretty good. Let's give it a try. Try to get a little bit of everything. As you can see, some little pieces of tomato and stuff in there. Yeah, I think I figured out what the flavor is. The ingredients say there's actually celery in here. Now, usually you wouldn't put celery in spaghetti, but that was that different sort of smell I was getting, and it really overpowers the spaghetti itself at first. And then once you actually get some beef, the ground beef itself has a really strong flavor, and that sort of then takes over afterwards. So yeah, it's actually not that bad. That's a pretty good quality kind of thing. Once again, as someone who likes black pepper, probably would do better. It tastes a little better if you had a little bit of black pepper in it, and obviously something like some Parmesan cheese, something like that. But obviously, I'm not going to have a block of Parmesan cheese out in the field. So yeah. Having a little try, and then we'll move on. Yeah, that's good. Once you're able to sort of identify the ingredients themselves, so you're not sort of left wondering as you're eating it, it kind of makes it taste a little better afterwards. Cleanse the palate now, I guess, with our multivitamin drink. I have no idea what the flavor is. So let's try it out and see what it actually is. Yeah, that's a standard effervescent vitamin C kind of orange flavored thing, like Emergency or whatever you call them. Yeah, pretty good quality. It's not that bad. I think the water I used probably wasn't quite cold enough to my liking, but otherwise, that's perfect. And lastly, like I said, these meals aren't going to have a whole lot to them. I could have probably easily done everything all together at once. But our last item that we're going to look at is our cookies and cream cereal bar. And this is an Orifo brand, so you see these all the time in a bunch of different European rations. And these are great. This is going to have puffed rice and some coconut. And unbeknownst to it, I guess due to the look, but there's a lot of raisins in here. And the raisin flavor really comes through along with a very strong cocoa flavor, usually. So let's just see if this is as it usually is. Yep. And as it always is, absolutely delicious. This is my favorite Orifo cereal bar. Sometimes you get cranberry, sometimes you get caramel. But this one is always one I'm happy to get whenever it shows up. So, that's about all we can say, guys. Once again, I'm not going to try the crackers with that. It's not really necessary. But overall, this has been a fantastic ration. It's a 24-hour ration. Might not seem like a tremendous amount of food, but the 3 mains that you're getting are very hearty. And then you can sort of spread out, if you want, your snacks and size, as it were, throughout the day. But you are getting 3 very hearty main meals that are going to certainly fill you up, do what you need to do. Obviously, then you need a lot of water to reconstitute this stuff. This asked for 300 mils. I believe the hot pot asked for 400 or 450. And then the fruit muesli was to taste. So you're talking about probably, I don't know, 900, 850 mils of water you're going to need to constitute your 3 main meals. And then obviously you're going to need, water for your drinks and all that kind of stuff. So you're looking at probably like 1.5 liters of water that you're going to need to be able to deal with everything here. But you're probably going to want to carry a lot of water anyway on long patrols. So it's easier to carry it as just pure water, where you can obtain water somewhere, I guess, if you need to, instead of carrying it in, heavy cans in a regular ration. So, this has been a Menu 12 Estonian Defense Force Individual Combat Rations, a 24-hour, and it's the lightweight version. Like I said, this is, as far as I know, the only review of the Estonian lightweight rations. I didn't even know these things existed until I sort of came across them. And yeah, this has been a great ration. This is sort of up there. Having never had Estonian rations before, I didn't really know where to place them, but I'd certainly put this ration in my top 10 even. Maybe this could sneak into my my top 5 rations of all time, I gotta say. If you could get one of these, specifically, this particular menu, I would certainly recommend it. So yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all for stopping by. And it's been a while since I did my last review. And hopefully, given the fact that we're all going to be, I wouldn't say stuck in our homes, but in our homes, trying to self-isolate and do social distancing as much as possible, hopefully I can get a few more reviews out in the next little while, in the foreseeable future. So if the next review I do is as good as this one, that's going to be fantastic. Maybe we'll do something vintage. Maybe we'll do something modern. Not entirely sure. I got a number of things in the queue that are both interesting and look like they could be pretty cool. So, like I always like to say, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a good one.